Hey y'all, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today is episode 2 in our series on hybrid fitness performance needle movers. In our last episode, we covered aerobic-based building in this episode. And today we're going to be talking all about a topic that has been kind of the theme of my season this year actually. And this is less quantity and more quality. So you're going to hear this over and over in this series. It's all about the quality of our work, how we're able to recover from that work, and how we're able to move forward and grow from that. Over just the excessive quantity, we don't want a ton of junk volume in our training that isn't really gonna give us the results that we want. So like I said, my example was lifting. So what would that look like within a lifting program? Well, for most people, that's gonna look like 2, maybe 3 lifting days a week. And here we're gonna focus in on those heavy compounds like our squat, deadlift, bench, shoulder press, prioritizing those big main movers so that we don't add a ton of extra muscle fatigue that we don't really need, especially when you get into in-season, competitive season. We don't wanna be super fatigued from our lifting days and have that fatigue carry over into our other days of training. So yes, we definitely want to do accessory work, but we don't need to be doing bro splits like back and bi day, chest and tri day, a separate ab day, a separate leg day. That's not an athletic way to train. Unless you're into bodybuilding or something very specific like that. But if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're more into hybrid training, which is a more athletic, well-rounded form of training and not necessarily so hyper-focused on hypertrophy. So here there are 3.5 areas that we're gonna touch on today. First up is lift heavy enough. A lot of people don't really lift into their heavier, more harder intensity ranges of lifting, and that can be a problem when it comes to hybrid training. Because when you're an athlete, you want to push yourself. And here, especially if we're programming a 5x5 back squat, you're gonna be lifting a little bit heavier, closer to your 1 rep max than you would be on, let's say, a 3 set of 12 reps. So you wanna be dialing in your RPE ranges. I have a whole video on RPE, it's right up here. You wanna be dialing in those RPE ranges to be harder. You wanna work at that 8, sometimes even RPE 9, depending on your goals and what you're working on. But if you finish your last set and you've got a whole nother set in the tank, or you feel like you could whip out another 5 reps or something, you're not training heavy enough. So in general, this is gonna vary based on sets and reps and where you are in your season, but you want to lift around about 75% of your 1 rep max or heavier. And like I've said in my other videos, the higher your threshold of strength is, the higher that 1 rep max, the easier these race weights are going to feel when it comes on race day. So if you can increase that ceiling of weight, it's going to help you a lot with your races. The second thing here is range of motion. So my biggest example today is going to be squat depth, because this seems to be one area that tends to be a hot topic on social media and with different races and movement standards in general. But things like hyrox wall balls, Deca Atlas thrusters, even other movements like the box step overs or even lunges where you have to touch the knee to the floor. Those can be difficult for a lot of different people. So if you're practicing those lunges, making sure you're getting the back knee to the ground or as close as you can and then working up in that range of motion. Or if you're squatting, making sure you're going ASS to the grass so that you can actually hit depth in your wall balls, your thrusters, whatever else you're gonna see in a race. And it's just gonna help you pattern that and build that muscle memory so that when you get to race day, you're not gonna be no rep a bunch. Which leads into the third one here, which is race specific work. And honestly, you don't need to overthink this one too much. You might have a whole separate day in your training routine that will be dedicated to race specific work, especially as you're in season versus off season, or maybe in the off season that looks like just doing 2 or 3 movements from a race that you enjoy, that you want to work on, or things that you just really need to improve this coming season. So whatever that looks like for you, whether you're in season, off season, wherever you are in your programming, keeping those race specific movements in your training is going to help you become more efficient at the movements. It's going to help your body know what to do, and especially leading up to the season, because they're really nice finishers too. Kind of simulating that race fatigue already and getting used to your body working under fatigue in those specific movements. So different things like that can help as you're working on those race specific things, getting your body prepared for the season and the races ahead. And you don't want to just hammer all these different sims and tons of race specific movements year round, especially like let's say you just do DECA. and you're just focusing on the 10 decazones, if you do all 10 decazones every single workout, it's gonna get super boring and you're gonna get overuse injuries on things. So you don't wanna just be doing those 10 zones. You wanna have other things you're mixing in there too, which is really nice with trying other races and putting other race specific movements in there in your training as well. But just make sure you're not overdoing it. Having it in 1 or 2 days a week, especially leading up to the season. If you're in season, you might see race specific movements 2 to 3 days a week, depending on what you're doing and what level of events, how many events, what's coming up on your calendar, and all of those things. And our 3.5 bonus one here is about sims. I already have a whole nother video on sims, so check that out if you have a chance. But these are great for pacing, for strategy, for exposure to the race, so you can just get a feel for it and kind of know what to expect come race day. Just make sure you're giving these some good breathing room because you want to be able to recover fully from these so that you can train well throughout the week and you don't have that lingering fatigue affecting your training. So separating these out every other week, I like to do them on like a Saturday or a Sunday on the weekend. I'd swap it out for like a long run that day and start doing these 4 to 8 weeks before your race just to start prepping, kind of get a feel for what that race will be like. Maybe that's a half sim, so like a half rocks, or maybe that's a full sim if you're doing like a deca strong, deca mile, you know, something that's a little easier to recover from. But whatever that looks like for you, simming is a really, really important piece in hybrid training. So to sum things up, you don't need a crazy training program with tons of intensity and time in the gym. Less is more. You want more quality and less quantity. You don't want all that extra jump volume. Practice full range of motion. And race-specific work and sims are very important, but you don't have to put them in every single workout. So that's all I have for you guys in this video, but I also have 2 resources to share with you. First off is my race day packing list, so you'll never forget a race essential again. And second up is my program, Hybrid Strength. I use all of the tools that we've talked about today in Hybrid Strength so that you can level up your training and make sure that you have a balanced and focused training plan to help you succeed at your next race. But baby G just woke up from his nap, so I've gotta go. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!